I used to ride around in the trunk of Mustangs while my friends drifted them. I don't know why we used to do this, but it was fun. We'd find an empty lot at like 2 in the morning, I'd crawl into the trunk, they'd shut it, and in the pitch black, sliding completely sideways, you're getting thrown against bare metal while the tires just scream outside. Were we absolute idiots? Yes, but it was fun being idiots. And looking back, it was a language. It was a handshake between people who cared about the same loud, irrational things. And right now, we are watching that entire language disappear. Just look at the numbers. In 2015, there were 3 of them: the Mustang, the Camaro, and the Challenger. And that year combined, they sold 260,000 cars. 250,000 Americans walked into a dealership and said, "I want a muscle car." That was the ceiling. And last year, the entire segment sat at 45,000 total. That is not each car, that is all of them combined. An 83% collapse in 10 years. The Camaro, gone. The last car off the line was December 14th, 2023, and GM's statement, "A successor is in the works," was over 2 years ago, and nobody's seen it. The Challenger, gone. December 22nd, 2023. The final unit was a Demon 170, and that had 1,025 horsepower, pitch black paint, and they literally shut the factory lights off. And to replace them, Dodge gave us an electric car that sounds like a video game. And GM gave us nothing. The Charger Daytona EV sold 346 total cars in the fourth quarter of 2025. 346. Now, I did a whole video on this, and go look at those comments because the guys in those comments said everything that I couldn't. Because those cars weren't just sales figures to me. Right after the first Transformers movie came out, a friend of mine got a Camaro SS, and I got in the passenger seat, and the belt line was so high, the windows were so tiny, it felt exactly like a fighter jet cockpit. And I remember sitting there, pinned to the seat, thinking, I don't know if I will ever in my lifetime have enough money to buy something like this. And that was a Camaro, not a McLaren, a Camaro. And that's how it felt. And the Challenger SRT8, that car was in a different category entirely for me. That or a Lamborghini, same tier of impossible. And my mom knew how much I loved it. She hand drew the car, just sat down and drew a Challenger SRT8 next to a photo of me in football pads by hand, because she knew I kept the official Dodge promotional book on my desk every single day. But those lines are dark now. And no, I never saw this coming because the future looks so bright. Cars were just getting so much faster, and I genuinely never expected to be living in a world where fast, cool cars are old news. So now I have to say something that I didn't expect to say. The Ford Mustang is the last V8 manual muscle car in America. And here's the uncomfortable part. It's not exactly winning. In 2024, the gas Mustang had its worst sales year in 60 years, 44,000 units, the lowest since 1964. And the Mach-E, the electric crossover that shares the Mustang's name, outsold it. 51,000. A 4-door battery-powered crossover outsold the actual car it's named after. The fact that that thing outsold the actual gas Mustang, now that actually pisses me off because it makes me feel like I'm old. It makes me feel like I don't know what's going on anymore, that the world must be moving on without me. But the Mustang is still here, and there's a reason for that. Ford spent $3.7 billion investing in American manufacturing, and part of that was specifically to keep the Mustang alive. They built a new generation, the S650, Gen-4 Coyote V8, 480 horsepower, naturally aspirated from a 5-liter. And they kept the manual. GM looked at the proposal for a 7th generation Camaro and shot it down. the official reason? They lacked a business case. They built the car, the engineers designed it, and then they looked at it and said, not worth it. Tavares at Stellantis refused to buy emissions credits from anyone, which meant the HEMI had to die. The entire blue-collar performance brand gone, because one CEO didn't want to pay a credit, and then he resigned and they quit. And Ford CEO Jim Farley, when asked about removing the manual from the Mustang, said, "Out of our cold, dead hands, we will not have a manual Mustang." Now, that's not marketing. That's a different kind of decision. And here's what nobody talks about. The Mach-E's EV credits legally offset the V8's emission footprints. And in plain English, the electric Mustang is what's keeping the gas Mustang alive. The irony is almost too much to process. And if nobody wants manuals anymore, then explain this. Ford says about 27% of Mustang GT buyers chose the manual. More than 1 in 4 people with every reason to take the easier automatic chose the stick shift. And it's not just the Mustang. Toyota added a manual to the GR Supra after years of being automatic only. And by 2024, 65% of buyers were choosing the stick. The BMW M2, over 50% took the manual. The Cadillac CT4 Blackwing, nearly half. And the Porsche 911 GT3 Touring, 70%. The industry said that nobody wanted manuals anymore, and then they gave people manuals, and people chose them, overwhelmingly. The manual transmission hit its all-time low in 2021, 0.9% of all new car sales. By 2023, it had nearly doubled, and it keeps going. The buyers leading the charge? CarMax data says they're younger than average. Millennials, Gen Z, people who grew up surrounded by automation, and they're the ones choosing the third pedal. They're not going back because of nostalgia, they're choosing it because they want to feel something. And so who's still buying a manual Mustang in 2026? The answer to that used to be a 17-year-old psychopath who's gonna mow down your entire family coming out of a car meet. But times have changed. And now, this might be the only car left with any real pedigree. I don't know what kind of brave soul is still buying a new manual Mustang in 2026, but I salute you. Because it's not about the gearbox. I drove an Infiniti G35 for 10 years, and I loved that car. Was it chaos? Yes. Was it always braking? Absolutely. Always overheating. But there's a law in this hobby, and it's the more you work on your car, the more it breaks. And I still have mine. It's sitting at a buddy's place right now, and one day, when the money's right, I'm gonna restore it until it looks like the day it rolled off the factory floor. But while I was driving it, that car gave me community. You pull up to a red light and somebody nods. You know immediately that you're in the same club. There was a camaraderie between me and the people in the culture who shared that love. It was a membership card. And after a decade of that, I saved up and bought a 330i. Clean, reliable, working AC, and I felt like I'd finally made it. But I was cruising on the highway, proud, when a tuned Supra pulled up in the left lane. Clean build, someone who had clearly put real money and thought into it. And I looked over, waiting for the nod, but he didn't even glance at me. He downshifted and pulled away. I was invisible in my nice new car. The G35 gave me camaraderie. The 330i gave me nothing, and I lost that. A blob of gray cars is what all these new cars feel like. And that's what this is literally about. That is what we are losing when the V8s die. Not the horsepower, not the lap times, but the handshake. The moment in traffic where two strangers connect over the thing that they built their identity around. And a graveyard can't shake your hand. Did the Mustang win the muscle car war? I don't know that I'd call it winning, but it's the last man standing in a war where everyone else walked away. The Camaro is gone, the Challenger gone, and the cars that replaced them sold 346 units in a quarter. The Mustang's 2024 was the worst year in 60 years, and the electric crossover with its name outsells it. But here's what's also true. Ford made the decision to invest, to keep the V8, to keep the manual, to say this matters and we're gonna spend money on it. And buyers responded. Not in flood numbers, but 1 in 4 chose the stick. And that's not an accident, that's a signal. And the manual data is the most hopeful thing in this story because it says that somewhere out there, people are still walking into a dealership, looking at all the options and saying, give me the one that makes me work for it. Give me the one that I can feel. That's not apathy, that's defiance. The 27% who still chose the manual, they're refusing to be invisible. They're refusing to melt into a blob of gray. And they are the ones keeping the handshake alive. And it's just sad. But I like to take the hopeful view. Clothes from the 90s went out of style and then came back. And I hope that the same thing happens with cars. And EVs have their place, I'm not arguing against that. I just wish people would care again. Is that too much to ask for? So, are we ever gonna see a mainstream comeback? Not among enthusiasts, because we never left, but regular people, the ones that walked out of the Transformers movie wanting a Camaro, the ones who thought the SRT-8 was a UFO, not a production car. Is there a world where that happens again? And are you part of that 27%? When you're on the highway, are you still finding people who give you the nod? Or does it feel like the blob is winning? Drop a comment below, let me know what your handshake car is, and I'll be down there reading every single one of them. Thanks for watching.